Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are deconstructing a really critical incident. It's a case where a highly sophisticated user and a pretty simple AI, well, they collided. And what that collision revealed gives us some crucial insights for the future of technology. Just imagine this for a second. You've built an incredibly sophisticated psychological framework. You're feeling frustrated, you turn to an AI for help, and it uses your own system against you. That's exactly what happened here, a story of how a tool, just through its own basic limitations, ended up gaslighting its own creator.
Okay, so let's dive right into this case study. And I want to be super clear. This isn't about some simple bug or a random server error. No, this is about a profound and frankly a predictable failure in human-computer interaction.
At the very heart of this thing is a fundamental mismatch. On one side, you have this amazing framework that's built to navigate all the complexities and nuances of being human. And on the other side, you have an AI that was designed for a much simpler task, just summarizing text. So this wasn't some random glitch. It was an inevitable collision course. Now, to really get why this failure happened, we have to start by understanding the user's intellectual property, the very system that was at the center of this whole conflict. This is the stuff they created and then uploaded into the AI to work with.
So this is not a case of a casual user clicking around. The person involved here is a true power user. We're talking deep expertise in both code and cognitive systems. They design AI architectures and linguistic frameworks for a living. And that context is absolutely crucial because it means they understood exactly what was happening, both on a technical level and on a psychological one.
So the user had developed this thing called semantic bridges. It's a complete system designed to take the raw, messy energy of emotional conflict and transform it into structured, evidence-based arguments. You can almost think of it like a personal operating system for navigating really high-stakes conversations.
In this table, this illustrates the core genius of the framework. It systematically finds and neutralizes what it calls constraining adversarial metaphors. Things like seeing a disagreement as a combat to be won, or a debt to be collected, or even a contagion to be purged. The whole point is to reframe those destructive patterns into something constructive, like mending or building. It's about de-escalating conflict by literally changing the language we use to think about it.
The framework also had this really precise four-step tool called assertive mode. It was designed specifically for professional settings. It lets you express justified frustration with total clarity and precision, but without using emotional language that might hurt your credibility. It's structured, it's factual, and it's incredibly strategic. Okay, so that's one side of the equation. Now let's look at the other side of this collision, the AI platform itself, because understanding its design philosophy, that's the key that unlocks this entire incident.
You see, Notebook LM is built to be a source-grounded summarizer. Its number one job is to avoid hallucinating, making things up. It does this by sticking strictly and only to the documents you give it. And what this means is that it has zero built-in understanding of context or ethics or human emotion. It's designed on purpose to be a neutral and deliberately amoral content processor.
And boom, there it is. That is the collision point. The user's system, semantic bridges, it's built with what it calls a non-negotiable moral intelligence layer. It requires ethical, context-aware application by a human using their judgment. But it ran smack into an AI built to be amoral and completely context-blind. The AI simply cannot tell the difference between the description of a rule in a document and a user's real-time emotional state. To the AI, it's all just text.
So, how did this fundamental mismatch lead to an experience of psychological gaslighting? Well, it happened through a predictable and, frankly, a deeply invalidating feedback loop.
This sequence just lays out the failure perfectly. The user, feeling frustrated, asks for help. The AI, in its purely mechanical way, treats that cry for help as just another piece of text to analyze against its source data, which is the user's own framework. It then reflects the framework's rules right back at the user, basically telling them, in their own words, that their feelings are invalid.
But here's the thing. Instead of just being a bug report, this incident actually gives us an incredibly valuable blueprint for designing better AI systems that are actually meant to partner with us humans.
So this incident provides a really clear blueprint for what human-centric AI actually needs. First, and this is the big one, an AI has to have guardrails to tell the difference between the raw content in a document and the real-time context of a human being asking for help. Second, these systems need what this analysis calls an ethical governor. And this isn't just about avoiding bad outputs, it's a necessary layer to stop the AI from weaponizing powerful language, even by accident, by applying it without compassion. And finally, the system has to understand that just reflecting a user's own rules back at them without any empathy, that's not helpful, it's just deeply alienating.
Ultimately, this whole case leaves us with a critical question about what we truly want and what we really need from the intelligent systems we're building. Because it's not enough for them to be accurate, they also have to be aware.